The Chinese Shar-Pei is an ancient breed with some incredible recent victories. The Chinese Shar-Pei dates back 2,000 years to China's Han Dynasty. Back then they were peasant dogs and they were used on farms, especially as guardians. They also did some herding and some hunting. During the 1900s, China went through a communist regime, and during that time, dog ownership was frowned upon, so a lot of China's purebred dogs were put to sleep. But luckily, some specimens of the Chinese Shar-Pei went to Hong Kong and Taiwan. Cut to 1973, a Hong Kong breeder named Mak Gao Law put an appeal out to North American fanciers asking us to help save the Chinese Shar-Pei from the brink of extinction. And dog fanciers here in North America, well, we all stepped up. By the early 1990s, the breed was recognized in America and here in Canada in the non-sporting group. Considering that in 1978, the Guinness Book of World Records listed the Chinese Shar-Pei as the rarest dog breed in the world, it's quite the comeback. When I was asked to talk about the Chinese Shar-Pei, I knew I would have to talk to Rhonda Holloway and John Kolodziej of Periwrinkles Chinese Shar-Pei. I see their dogs getting awarded constantly at dog shows in my region, and I knew they would be the perfect couple to talk about this unique breed with. So, is the Chinese Shar-Pei the right breed for you? Stay tuned and find out. Rhonda, these Wrinkles are absolutely awesome and so cute. Do they serve a function? And I've noticed your puppies have tons of wrinkles right now. Will they lessen as the puppies get older?
Yes, most of them will grow into their wrinkles, but they have to maintain them around their neck. It's an overproduction of hyaluron. That's what causes the wrinkling. It protects them if they, back in the day for their guard dogs, or if they got into a fight, it would protect their organs.
So if they were like protecting their farm and say a wolf came on the property, the wolf would grab this loose skin and the Shar-Pei could defend itself and its property.
Especially around the throat.
Rhonda, the word Shar-Pei translates in English to sand skin. And you were telling me earlier there's 3 different types of coat. Can you tell us about these types of coat in the Shar-Pei?
We have 3 types of coat. We have a horse coat, which is the shortest of all, and it is the most prickly with lots of texture. And then we have a brush coat, which is a little bit softer, but you still have to feel the texture, the coarseness. And then there's a bear coat, and that is a really cute looking, almost like a chow look. We try not to breed that, but sometimes it's an oopsie, and if 2 dogs are carrying that gene, it'll happen. But they're really cute.
John, do the Shar-Pei shed?
They shed twice a year, and other than that, you don't get much hair loss from them. No.
Do they require any special grooming?
The grooming that they require is usually their ears at least once a week, their nails once a week, and then bathing every 2 to 3 weeks, depending if we're showing or not and how dirty they get outside.
We were playing with your Shar-Pei outside, Rhonda, and they move beautifully and they move very fast. Do they require a lot of exercise?
They have moments where they really love to run hard, but most of the time they're a very relaxed dog and they like to lay around too. So the younger they are, the more energy they have, and then they grow away from that as they get older.
Rhonda, when I was younger, the Shar-Pei's temperament was hit or miss at best. And then today I'm spending time with you and John's dogs, and I've noticed your dogs have wonderful temperaments. And a lot of people I've noticed are seeing the Shar-Pei as a really ideal family pet. Can you tell me about the temperament and what responsible breeders have done to improve temperament with the breed?
We've bred dogs that have good temperaments. We've really tried hard to do that. The Chinese Shar-Pei standard states that our dogs are to be aloof. Some of our dogs are not like that. They're very friendly, but we'd like to maintain that a little bit in our breed. But I really like a friendlier dog, and that's what we've been aiming for.
Absolutely. And like I was saying, we see them as family pets. John, does a Shar-Pei get along well with kids, and do they get along with other family pets and dogs?
It comes down to socialization. So if they're introduced at a very young age to children, to pets, to strangers, then they adapt.
Noises, everything.
Yeah, they adapt really well. But it's all about introducing that type of environment early. And if they're going to a home with children and pets and that, it's always good to get them started right off the bat as soon as you can.
The Chinese Shar-Pei standard describes the breed as independent. Rhonda, what training methods have you found work best with an independent dog like the Chinese Shar-Pei?
Really good positive reinforcement and food goes a long way. Cook up a good steak or some chicken or something, and they really work good for food. That's how we've trained most our dogs.
Same. Now, there's a major plus to the Chinese Shar-Pei, and even being here in your house, which is beautifully clean, doesn't have any odor of dog, and you have 7 puppies right now, and they're all already housebroken.
Yeah.
Tell me about this major advantage to the Chinese Shar-Pei breed, because it seems like your dogs are pretty housebroken already.
Yeah, it's kind of a detriment to us because we have to wake up 2 or 3 times a night to get them out. But usually around 3 to 4 weeks of age, they crawl off to the pee pad and it gets further away from their pen, and they love to go outside. That's where they'd rather be.
They've got this kind of almost cat-like cleanliness
Yeah.
with that it's amazing to
Very
see.
much.
And you see other people struggle so long with housebreaking, and you guys are, it's a snap for you.
Why I have this breed, because I'm a clean freak and I got a clean dog.
Now, they've got such a unique head. Tell me about the head of the Chinese Shar-Pei.
So they're supposed to have a hippopotamus muzzle, and we categorize our dogs by 2, 6, and 10 now. We can test them to see where they fall in. The heavier heads tend to be more of a 10, and the less muzzle, like this guy here, he's a 6. And then there are 2s, which we don't have, but they have less muzzle, as you can see. And they call that more of a bone mouth, and this is a meat mouth.
And this is a meat mouth. Now, do these adorable little mouths, do they drool? Is that an issue?
No, they are sloppy drinkers.
Sloppy
sometimes.
drinker?
Yes, so we
too.
have a cloth at the water dish. But if they're drooling, it's just because they see something they want to eat, like a steak or something.
Responsible breeders of the Chinese Shar-Pei have worked really hard to make health a priority. What are some of the conditions you do see in Shar-Pei, and what steps do you breeders take to try and avoid them?
We'll start at the head. They have sometimes entropion, where their eyelids will roll under, but that's usually corrected by a few tacks as they're a puppy. And then as they can have the biggest problem with the Shar-Pei, and we're trying to breed that away, is Chinese Shar-Pei fever, which is amyloidosis, and it's a kidney disease that all this heavy wrinkling is caused by hyaluron, and that can also coat their kidneys, and it kind of suffocates the kidney and it shuts them down. So that's probably one of the biggest things with Shar-Pei. Glaucoma for eyes, we test for that. So we won't breed 2 carriers any longer. And we're trying to breed 6s and 10s together to reduce the Chinese Shar-Pei fever problem. And then they get the other things like any breed, like cancer or different things. We just can't control that.
What are you looking for when it comes to a puppy buyer? If someone wants one of your puppies, anything in particular you want to see from that home?
We really prefer somebody that has a strong hand. Not a mean hand, but a strong hand. These are stubborn dogs, and they will outsmart you if they can. So we want somebody that's willing to put time in to train them, socialize them, and a fenced yard is always lovely, and kids around is great too. I don't like them to be alone a lot, like for long periods. But other than that, they really fit a lot of different home types. So.
Wonderful. Who shouldn't own a Shar-Pei, in your opinion?
Just somebody that's not around and somebody that's not willing to put the commitment in to train them.
Could one live in an apartment?
Absolutely. As long as they're walked at least 3 times a day, 2 to 3 times. They need to go to the bathroom, but they do like to have a nice walk and get some energy.
Absolutely. Are they quiet dogs?
They are, unless somebody comes to the door.
Yeah. So they're not going to bark for no reason, but they'll alert you. Now, Rhonda and John, how can people get in touch with your kennel, Periwinkle Chinese Shar-Pei?
Periwrinklessharpei.com. We have a Facebook page. We have a website.
And we're going to have a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah.
You will, right here.
Right.
Thank you so much to Rhonda and John from Periwinkle Chinese Shar-Pei for teaching us about this fascinating breed. To learn more about the diverse world of purebred dogs, make sure you like and subscribe. And until next time, take good care of your dogs, and they'll take good care of you.